He looks like a typical businessman, but the road to success has been a long one for Yarnell Arsenault.
Yeah, this is an interesting story. Just 7 years ago, this Dartmouth website developer spent his days wandering the streets of Dartmouth. He slept in an ATM lobby, a local library, and even spent one night on a park bench. Sherri Borden Colley tells us more about Arsenault's journey.
Yarnell Arsenault runs his own marketing firm, providing web development services for small businesses. But the road to get here wasn't easy.
I was just in a bad spot, a really bad spot.
Several years ago, Arsenault was depressed. He lost his car and apartment and had nowhere to go. One day he walked about 10 kilometers across the McDonald Bridge all the way to Spryfield. Police stopped and asked what he was doing. Arsenault didn't know what to say.
The cops picked me up again, and I told them I didn't really have any place to go, and they took me to the homeless shelter. And then I stayed there for a couple months.
Carrying all of his belongings, just his clothes, an iPod, and a laptop computer in one backpack, Arsenault spent his nights at Metro Turning Point, a shelter for homeless men in Halifax. He ate breakfast nearby at a local church and supper next door at Hope Cottage, a soup kitchen. He says that help meant a lot.
They provided shelter and food, which is basically what you need to survive. I mean, it wasn't the best food in the world, but it was food. And without that, I just probably wouldn't have been able to keep going.
That's why he returns to Hope Cottage every year to give some of the profits from his business.
I just try and go back there because without their help, I don't know where I would be, because food was an issue back then. And I can just remember walking in there and having that little hot meal, and it made a difference for me.
Arsenault's turning point came when his best friend, Otis Day, showed up one day at the shelter.
He just showed up one day and said, "Man, you can't stay here. You got to go live with your grandmother." So he took me over to my grandmother's place, and then I started living there.
Arsenault's grandmother reached out and got him the mental health services he needed. He soon got his own apartment and went back to school. He graduated with his second business administration diploma in 2013. He started his own marketing firm 1 year later.
That goes like that.
Hope Cottage's director, Joe Morgan, remembers Arsenault. He says he simply needed them as a crutch until he got back on his feet.
It's very enjoyable for us to see this happen and his success. Our hope is all of our clients could only use us temporarily. To have your own business, to develop your own website, and that kind of stuff. I don't think that I can remember in the 20 years I've been here anybody that's done that well. And it's just, it gets us here.
For Arsenault, it was a journey that helped get him to where he is today.
I'm kind of glad that it happened, because I think my mind was in a place where it needed to happen in order for me to realize, appreciate the small things in life.
Sherri Borden Colley, CBC News, Halifax.
Sometimes people just need a hand up, don't they?
Yes, and look how far he's gone.
Yeah, it turned out well for him.